Alright, so last week was busy for the cartoon community. The Owl House had a bunch of news drop regarding Season 2, including its release date on June 12th, a new intro, episode titles and synopses, and a Season 3 renewal. We also had the official release of True Colors, which was an incredible finale for Season 2 of the show Amphibia. Seriously, if you haven't watched the show yet, I highly recommend watching it now, so you can catch up on it now that the show is in hiatus. But now with Amphibia wrapped up, that means that people will be readying themselves for Season 2 of The Owl House. As of me recording this video, we have yet to get a trailer for the upcoming season. That will probably come out closer to June 12th, likely a week prior. But there is still a lot to theorize and speculate on. One of the things I didn't mention in my Season 2 intro breakdown, because I was planning on making this video, is regarding Lilith and the possibility of her being cursed and transforming into a crow beast. Or a raven beast. I don't think it's actually been confirmed exactly what bird Lilith's talisman is, but you get the idea. Now in the intro, when we see Lilith, the spy, and Kikimora, Lilith's gem is gray. Now as a refresher, at the end of Youngblood Old Souls, Lilith split the curse with Ida. This caused both Clawthorn sisters to get a gray eye and a gray streak of hair. In Ida's case, it actually went from gray to white. Now Ida can't seem to use magic on her own, but can still use magic through Albert and her staff. Lilith also makes the following comment.
It'll take some time to get used to this.
I feel that I've been weakened as well.
Now, it's unclear if Lilith is in the same position as Ida and can't use magic on her own at all, or if her powers have just been weakened. Now let's go back to the shot from the intro. Lilith's gem is gray, which would indicate that the curse has taken over, but this is a change from when we last saw her. I will point out though that this could just be a coloring error in the intro. If that ended up being the case, that wouldn't be the only issue because the intro itself didn't seem to export correctly since it glitches here. Yes people, this isn't some super secret hidden little detail, this is just something that can happen if a video isn't exported properly. So there's no need to go theorizing. But going back to this shot, the other thing that you may notice is that Lilith doesn't have a streak in her hair either. It isn't until the character portraits flip that we see Lilith has the streak in her hair. Unfortunately, she also has her eyes closed and a shirt or a new outfit that obscures or doesn't have a gem, so that doesn't really help us out. However, I would assume that these portraits are representative of these characters' progression through the series, with Lilith and Kikimora at the very least since the spy is new to us. But Lilith went from the head of the Emperor's Coven to its enemy, hence the drastic change in the portraits. But that would mean that Lilith's gem should be green prior to the portraits flipping. Now, if this is a coloring error and it's not meant to imply that the curse has taken over, that's fine, because I still believe that there is evidence to support that Lilith may start developing side effects of the curse. The biggest piece of evidence, and also the most obvious, is the end of Youngblood Old Souls, where Lilith split the curse with Ida. Like I just said, it's pretty obvious, but Lilith does start to get the graying hair like Ida, and both Clawthorns had their eyes change color. Going back to the line from earlier, Lilith does say that her powers are weakened, and like I previously mentioned, we don't know to what extent yet. But the loss of magic powers is something Ida went through during Season 1, and now it appears that Lilith will begin going through the same, which also makes me wonder what's going to happen with Lilith in Season 2. I know Luce and Ida weren't happy with Lilith in Agony of a Witch and Youngblood Old Souls, but at the very least, there seemed to be some sort of mutual understanding. Especially after Lilith betrayed Belos and split the curse, I would think that the Owl House gang would try and help her out, since without her, they probably wouldn't have gotten out of Belos' castle. Based on Lilith's outfit that we see in the intro and also the Season 2 poster, she definitely seems to be wearing a more simple outfit, likely trying to keep a low profile since she'll be wanted along with the Owl House gang. And I'm hoping that means they will take her in. I mean, at this point they're all in this together, so they might as well have numbers on their side. Plus, from the synopsis of Echoes of the Past, we know that Lilith will be involved with a group. King's delusions of grandeur lead Luce, Lilith, and Hooty to a dangerous new island. So this also seems to point at Lilith staying with the group. Now, other than the group sticking together to have numbers on their side, with Lilith's powers weakened and likely having the curse to some extent, I would hope that Ida would help her out. After all, no one would know how to deal with the curse better than Ida. Now, we saw over the course of the first season that Ida's curse progressively got worse, and I am wondering if we'll see something similar with Lilith in Season 2. Her just being a bit weaker to eventually getting to the point of transforming into an owl beast parallel. A few months back, Dana did a charity stream along with storyboard artist Luz Batista and animation supervisor Spencer Wan. During the stream, this moment happened.
But, yeah, in an alternate universe, she's canceled.
Didn't she also turn into a... I will stop talking.
Now it's worth noting that Spencer worked on Season 1, but not on Season 2, which is likely why he started to mention Lilith turning into something without thinking it would be a spoiler. But with how quickly Dana was to cut him off, I'm guessing that Lilith will be turning into something. And though it is kind of hard to hear, it does sound that Spencer started to say crow, but that's just speculation on my end and connecting it to Lilith's talisman. But if Lilith's curse does get to the point of her turning into a crow beast, Ida would have access to the potions that would be needed for her to control it. Tibbles is out of business for the moment, and the only other supplier we know is Morton. And man, Morton is going to be busy if we end up having 2 bird beasts. But honestly, I think this would be a great plot thread for Ida to be a bit of a mentor and support to Lilith going through this. Lilith always looked down on Ida, so if Lilith starts developing a curse, Ida would be the best person to help her through that process. And I'm sure both Clawthorns will try and discover a cure for both of them, especially for Ida, because even with the curse split, it seems to be getting worse. Because we see from the Season 2 poster that Ida's curse is flaring up again. But Lilith's curse may not be progressing as quickly as Ida's, which is why she seems to be okay, in this moment at least. But even with the split, for the curse to be escalating so quickly, the group is going to need to find a cure or solution as soon as possible. And I think that Lilith would be a lot of help with that. She is the more studious of the 2 sisters, and finding a cure for Ida as well as herself, if her curse gets to that point, would be a nice development in her arc and would be a redemption in fixing what she caused. I've said it before, but Lilith is going to be one of the most interesting characters to watch for in Season 2 with where her arc left off. And thankfully, we don't have to wait too much longer as we now wait for the Owl House to return on June 12th. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time guys, take care.